What's going on, guys? I'm Aaron from PhoneDog.com, and I've been broadcasting from this makeshift set, the bookcase behind me, all the stuff on it, for the past week, just to see your reaction, just for a change of pace, something different. And you see all the books behind me. A lot of people have commented about the Bill Clinton book. I'm into politics. What can I say? So I have a bunch of different books on the various presidents. So it's there, and one thing I have to say, in the words of Bill Clinton, I like cell phones. It's the best I've got. It's the best I've got. But I do have the Kyocera Echo with me. It's a dual screen Android phone from Sprint, available on the 17th. It's going to be available for $199.99. So for gamers, it's awesome. A whole new form factor, a whole new opportunity for game developers, for people like that. 5-megapixel camera with HD video capture on the back. But the winning thing are the screens. That really, when they come down, it looks just like a tablet. You can use it in portrait or in landscape mode. So is this a device to get on Sprint? Obviously, since this is a media-centric device, you can use the screens to your advantage in programs, and most programs at least, like Sprint TV and movies. You can see NBC Sports is trying to load up here. Watch NBC Sports On Demand clips. Now this, again, here's where the hindrance of the 3G connection really comes into play. I had to disable Wi-Fi in order to access this, and it looks like it is just not doing anything. Let's see if we can get it on something else. Part of more than one package. Okay, let's go back. Let's cancel that. Let's see here. Okay, so it is playing. Let's see if we can get it to play again. But, the hindrance of the 3G connection, you're still paying $10 for that premium data. So its content is not currently available. Please try again later. You're still paying $10 for the premium data, but you're not really getting the premium data speed. So it's kind of frustrating there. But anyway, those media-centric programs like that, like the browser, things that you can really take advantage of. You can use a NASCAR, for example, Sprint Cup Mobile. Pull that down, put it back in tablet mode, if you will, and you can see, as soon as that loads up, you can take advantage of those two screens. Now here's where it gets kind of annoying. You'll see the live video button has been separated by the little separation there between the screens. Once you scroll up, it goes out of the way, but still. I saw some comment on one of the videos saying, it's kind of for those people that have OCD, that would probably drive you nuts. So just something to keep in mind. But still, the ability to use both, very cool. Nice to have that feature, and nice to be able to, when you want to save battery life and you want to just use one screen, nice to be able to easily plop it back to one screen without, with minimal size changes, if you will. So you have typical Android widgets on this device, no custom user interface, no overlay, so you don't have to worry about anything like that. You have your analog clock, battery life, which I installed, calendar, digital clock, home screen tips, we have Jibe, newsfeed, Jibe status, but the rest, for the most part, and then the Sprint stuff, but the rest are stock Android widgets. And then when you open it up, you close it, we can put a widget. Like, let's throw one over here on the screen, for example. Let's go over here and through that. Let's see, widgets. Digital clock, just for example, that's actually a Kyocera widget, if I recall. And then you can see it, what it looks like in portrait as well. And then when you open it up into tablet mode, that's what it looks like. Let's run quadrant standard and speed test, but before we do that, actually, let's test out the camera. It's 5-megapixel camera with a flash, and let's see, we'll pull over the HTC Thunderbolt for comparison testing. Let's see here, and go over here, and you can see when I take the picture, it's going to show up here. So it's nice to, again, have those two displays because so much space available to take advantage. So let's see. I'm going to press there, press and hold so we get the autofocus going on. Click, and then you see it down there. So I can click on that to access the pictures in their full glory, and it's going to load up those right now so we can see that picture. Actually, picture quality looks pretty good for a 5-megapixel camera, in my opinion. That's a pretty great picture. Picture quality is good. Granted, there are a lot of light shining down on this right now, but still, overall quality I've been pretty impressed with. You can see HTC and some of the chrome accents around the camera and the dual flash pretty easily. So, color me impressed. I need to test the 720p video quality, but with the rest of it, absolutely. I mean, it's impressive. Seems like it does a good job. But it's nice to see things like this where they're really taking advantage of those two screens. I know I keep harping on that, but the more programs that come with it out of the box that take advantage of it, the better and the more likely it is to be adopted by consumers. So that said, camera good. Let's take a look at quadrant standard and see what it looks like. Quadrant standard, we're going to run the full benchmark. We'll load that up here. Wait for that to load. Call quality's been very good. You know, for the most part to me, I did notice a little bit of like, and no, literally no pun intended by this, there was some echo in the call. I'm dead serious. There was some echo when I was making some phone calls yesterday. Other than that, pretty decent call quality. Reception's been decent. I took it to a Sprint dead spot in North Charlotte, and it seemed to perform pretty well. But just the echo concern that I had, kind of echo, kind of staticky from time to time, and it made for kind of a frustrating experience, at least in a little bit of time that I've been able to make some calls with it. So take a look at it in store. You know, take that 30-day trial to your advantage. Use it on all the places that you're going to use it. Make sure that it's the best device for you. Data speeds, like I said, been absolutely terrible. It's 3G. I wish it had 4G. If it had 4G, I think it would open it up to a new range of markets as opposed to just having 3G. And you have to keep in mind, this is running for $199.99, which, let me tell you this first, 782. The device is 782 on the quadrant standard scale, so very, very slow, at least on the quadrant standard scale, 782. But what I was saying about the data speeds, I think if you had 4G on this device, it would have opened it up to an entirely new demographic with new potential with all the online games, with things like that. 3G kind of hinders it, and at $199, you're putting it right there in the price point with the Evo Shift, the Epic 4G, and more. So let's see, speed test. First, let's make sure that we're loaded up on the correct server, and then we'll get a speed test started just to see what it's really like. Now, there's a Sprint cell site right beside my office, so yeah, we'll force close that. Sprint cell site right beside my office, so theoretically these should be the best speed test numbers you could possibly get, but we'll see. We'll go over to location security. We're going to use those. Yep. And then we're going to open up speed test, wait for a lock. Let's see how long it takes to get a lock on this. Retrieving server list now. So again, you know, speeds haven't been the best. Not particularly in this area. I can't vouch for anywhere else in the US because I haven't taken this on any trips or anything like that, but I haven't been that impressed with the data. Let's see here. I didn't see Charlotte earlier, so I'm going to go with the closest city, which is Greensboro, and then we'll do a speed test here as soon as it gives me the button. Let's see here. I don't know why it's doing that. Retrieving server list. It seems to be hung up. On that, we'll put it down and see what happens. Okay, here we go. It finally decided to retrieve the server list, so we're loading up right now. Let's see what the download speeds look like and the upload speeds, and we'll do some comparisons from there. It looks like download, I'm telling you, it's not really great. It's about 400 kilobits per second. Well, no, a little lower than that. About 306 kilobits per second. Then on the upload, not sure what's going on. Let's see, upload looks to be about 60 kilobits per second. So when you're downloading these, you know, graphics-intensive games or applications or anything like that from the Android market, it's going to be pretty slow when you do it. 306 kilobits per second on the download, 32 kilobits per second on the upload. Very, very, very slow. And if data is your thing, this is probably not the device for you. So overall, you know, final review thoughts. I really liked the device. It grew on me. I didn't like it when I saw it in New York, honestly. It's not that I didn't like it. I didn't think it was that functional. And, you know, coming from the cell phone world where people try all these different form factors and try things out, you know, I was like, well, this one's probably not going to take off. But it does have some pros to it. I mean, it does, you know, it works well. The hinge is great. The portrait, landscape, tablet, you know, capabilities are fantastic. There are quite a few applications out of the box that work with it. I mean, it's, you know, all in all, it's a pretty decent device. Just the data speeds are terrible, and the price point's too high. If it was $100, I can see people buying this. At $199, it puts it right up against the Evo, the Epic, and the Evo Shift. And honestly, if it were me, this is just saying if it were me, I would go with the Evo 4G over this at that same price point. So something to keep in mind. But all in all, pretty decent device, and well built and works well. Keep it locked on PhoneDog.com for continuing coverage of the Kyocera Echo and many, many more phones in the coming days. Got a lot of cool videos coming next week on PhoneDog.com. Like us on Facebook as well. Facebook.com/PhoneDog. We're giving away a lot of iPads, a lot of phones, a lot of cool stuff as part of our Colossal iPad 2 and smartphone sweepstakes. So be sure to like us on Facebook. And follow me on Twitter as well, as always. PhoneDog_Aaron. Any questions, comments, thoughts? I always love to hear from you. So let me know. Thanks so much for watching. Happy Friday to you, and we'll see you next time.